Yeah.
Okay, folks. First things first, I've had some very minor audio issues setting up. Can people in chat please tell me, can they hear me speaking right now on stream? Because for some reason, Twitch is completely mute on my end. Awesome. Super. So, that is great. One less thing to worry about. So, hello, folks. Welcome to tonight's stream. My name is Neil. I am the creator and designer of Fey Earth, a indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and lived alongside humanity. Our game is set specifically in the year 1872. We are in France. We are currently just in Paris, although most of our campaign so far has been set in the central Auvergne region. It's approximately 6 months since a pretty devastating war in which Prussia and France allied against the Fey nation of Arcadia, nestled in between the two countries, in a pretty brutal conflict, which was surprising at first because for the first time ever, a Fey army started taking casualties in a conflict against humans because of modern human rifling technology and artillery. But then the Fey adopted new tactics against these new weapons. And then in May 10th, I believe it was, in a devastating attack, thousands of Prussian and French soldiers were killed, and France and Prussia surrendered. Some have said that the Fae unlocked ancient magics not heard before or seen before, while some of the few soldiers that survived are insisting that it was dragons that attacked. But many people have difficulty believing this because Europe has not seen a dragon in approximately 500 years. And we have a special session tonight. We have our guest player, Kaylee, who is joining us for this session. So thank you very much for joining us. And without further ado, would one of our players like to give us a recap of our last session?
Sure. And I apologize, my camera is not working today. I'm having some connection issues. So last session, we started with Mina beginning her angsty villain arc. She decided to head off to a dive bar on her own and just wreck as many faces as she could. But unfortunately, the dice gods were not kind, and she suffered a femur break, I believe, very quickly.
Yeah, because Mina has osteoporosis, apparently.
Exactly.
You did take
The
that guy.
noise of the Victorian era.
Yeah, you did take that guy out in literally 2 punches after he got the lucky nat 20, though, in fairness.
It was still impressive.
Yeah.
But we were very concerned about getting it healed. So we hopped on a train to Paris to Madame Joséphine Gautier, an artificer, and purchased an all heal from her. So that sorted out Mina's issue with her bone. And we also did some, I guess, shopping, if you can call it that, because she did give us these items for free in advance. So she gave us a goblin purse, dark vision glasses, healing potions, and a mana receptacle. And she'll take the cost of these from whatever we loot in the Fey Mound that we are going to. She did promise she would send one of her loyal assistants, Sophie, with us. And she told us the Fey Mound she wants us to raid on her behalf is in the Carnelle forest, which is about 30k north of Paris. And that in the center, there's an uninhabited Fey Mound. And that's where she'd like us to go. And she gets, I believe, any magical items that we acquire in the Fey Mound and 10% of the gold. But correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that was it. 10% of the treasure, and she gets the magical items because that's what she's interested in as an artificer. But you get to keep the other 90% of any treasure that you find. Okay? So, we start off with Gwyn, having spent the night with Madame Gautier. And you get up kind of early because she is conscious of the fact that you want to be leaving early, and she tells you that the carriage has been arranged. Okay, it is going to be waiting outside for you. Okay, so you get up, you get dressed, you have a very nice but not too heavy breakfast. She wishes you good luck. Says she's
Thank you, my dear. I'll give her a kiss on the cheek.
Yes, and it says, "Be safe, and I hope to see you soon." So when you go outside and you see a fairly big carriage, like this carriage will comfortably fit 6 people. It's only a 2-horse carriage, but a nice 2-horse carriage. Okay, and the driver jumps in, opens the door, and as you get in, you see another woman sitting there already in the carriage. So, Katie, would you like to describe your character for us, please?
So you come in, you see this woman. She is sprawled on the back seat of the carriage. She is, one of the first things you probably notice is that she is wearing trousers. She is dressed almost entirely in brown leather. She's a Caucasian woman with auburn hair that's falling loose to her shoulders, and she's dressed like a cowboy. Brown leather duster jacket, brown trousers that are close to being scandalously tight. She has a rifle and a pistol in obvious holsters on her back. She has kind of a triangular face, and her eyes are like a dark gray, like the color of the storm-crossed sea. She just looks up and says, "Howdy. I was waiting for you."
Good morning.
So this is the thing. She's speaking.
I love her already.
She's speaking in French, but her accent is very strange. It's very strange.
It's kind of French, but some of the words were a bit wrong.
It reminds you of some of the accents that you've heard in some of the more rural parts of France that you've been traveling through. It's, nothing at all like the Parisian accent. It sounds kind of like a really thick rural French accent.
Okay. Good morning. You must be Sophie.
Indeed.
Nice to make your acquaintance.
And yourself. I understand I'm to be escorting you to Fey Mound for some investigation, shall we say. Retrieval.
Yes, exactly. Your presence is greatly appreciated. I have a feeling we'll need all the help we can get. I'm not so accustomed to combat of this nature myself. Although we have faced our fair share of troubles, maybe Madame Gautier has filled you in. But it is good to have you on board. I'm glad you're here.
You appear to be a charming company of women.
Oh, yes, you could say that. Absolutely.
She'll take your hand. She will take your hand, and she will gently kiss it.
Gwyn instantly goes bright red and sits back. So tell me about yourself.
Oh, well, I'm from the colonies. Ran into a spot of trouble back home, so figured I'd come here and make my fortune.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like France at the moment is the place to be. I mean, much of our party is the same. We all came out, I suppose, in one way or another looking for adventure and something different. Where's home for you?
I mean, I can see some of you all here. I'm nice. I can find something that worked to my liking. I was a hunter mostly back home. A little bit more rough and tumble world than you might be used to.
Like myself. Yeah, France is very different to Cornwall, where I'm from. Can be more different, in fact.
I'm really surprised if people can't even speak French right.
Well, I can't speak Pidgin French right, so don't judge me. I'm not the best barometer. You must meet Aminata. She is from the area.
Well, hope she won't judge me too harshly.
No, not at all. Not at all. So what's your particular talent, Sophie? Can I see any weapons or...
You see a rifle.
Okay.
I shoot things.
Excellent. I have a feeling we will be very much in need of that where we're going.
No doubt.
Well, I don't shoot things. I have never held a gun in my life. but I do have magic. And you see she kind of opens her palm and fire appears, just a small little fireball, and she whooshes it out. So fire is my speciality.
Sophie will pull a cigarette from a pocket and light it from the fire.
Ooh, too cool.
Thank you kindly for the light.
The pleasure is all mine.
Oh,
Now, I understand we have considerably more to our party.
We do. We have 4 more party members and the most adorable fairy dragon you have ever seen. And I believe we are picking them up at Aminata's family home. And then I think it is a short enough journey to the Fey Mound.
All right. I'll knock on the roof of the carriage to signal the driver.
Yeah. And he's obviously been given all the details. Okay. So the rest of you, you get up and you go down to breakfast. And Amanat is there at the table, even though she wasn't there when you went to bed last night.
Oh, you're back.
So.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Oh, bonjour, mon ami. How is everybody? How was your sleep?
Oh, it was good, I think we slept well enough. Today should be interesting. When did you get back, Aminata? Was it early in the morning or?
To be honest, I don't quite remember. I just remember getting home and collapsing into my bed. I was so weary, but yes, I feel quite refreshed though this morning.
Oh, that was going to be my next question. Have you slept? Or that is good to hear. You will need your strength for the Fey Mound, I think.
Oh, I am so excited. I've never been in the Fey Mounds before. The ones here. It's quite a different culture where I'm from, so I'm very interested to see what they like.
I'm sure it will be, dangerous. It is Fey after all.
Oh, that's my favorite word in the world.
So
Sylvia is gonna kind of give Aminata. You have no idea what the fuck you are talking about right now.
And Aminata is going to look at Sylvia like,
yeah.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
So you have a not too long light-ish breakfast, okay?
Yeah.
And then the maid comes in to tells you that a carriage is outside waiting for you all. Okay.
Okay.
And you as you go outside, you do see this carriage, and you see Gwyn's head poking out. But just walking down the street towards you all, almost as if it was conveniently timed for narrative purposes, you see Justine.
Justine! Aminata is going to book it and just barrel into her.
Absolutely, yeah. Hello. How's everyone?
How have you been?
It's been hard. It's been challenging. I received Gwyn's letter, and I just took a night train from Ghent to Paris.
It's good to see you again, Justine. I hope that your trip was okay and you were able to sleep.
Yes, it wasn't bad. It was a nice enough train, comfortable.
Aminata is going to be like busy, kind of like circling Justine, eyeing them off for any sort of like bumps or anything. It's like, I've missed you so much. You were gone for so long. I didn't know you were coming back, and my friend.
I wasn't planning to be honest with you, but then when I received Gwyn's letter, I realized that there is not much I can do at home. My brother, he's recovering. It's going to be a long journey, but he has all the best doctors we could find, and they say in time he should be all right. There seems to be no traces of magic left. He's still suffering. He's not in the best condition, but there is not much I can do for him. I felt like I was more needed here.
Yeah, Justine, unfortunately, the suffering will continue for a while, and he will learn to live with it, I suppose you could say.
Where is Anki?
Anki is great. You can see that Justine is a bit she's fresh, but at the same time she looks older and a bit more chronically tired than she used to be.
Yeah.
Not like someone who like had a bad night's sleep and they just look tired for the day. Someone who's been tired for a long
been through it.
time. Yeah. But her clean is nice and clothes. Her clothes is nice and clean, and she, her hair is in a good condition and everything. And
Nina, how is your leg?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine.
100%.
It's
cute.
Mina's leg is fully restored after the night's sleep. The potion did its job. And Anklegon, where would Justine be carrying Anklegon? Is he like under her coat? Is he like tucked in underneath her collar, or what? Where would he be?
Yeah, she's wearing like a scarf that she normally covers him with.
Ah, yes.
But now he knows that he's safe and he's kind of peeking.
So you see what you see.
I miss both of you.
Yeah, what you all see is that this big kind of voluminous scarf that Justine had wrapped around her. Part of what you thought was the wool suddenly changes its color and texture, and you see Anklegon's head peeking out as he breaks his natural camouflage ability. So, alighting into the carriage, you see Gwyn, and you see this other rather striking woman smoking a cigarette. She's dressed head to toe in brown leathers, a long leather coat, and you can see she has a rifle slung along the beside where she's seated as you all clamber in. And Gwyn, you obviously saw Justine is back as well.
I jump up and give her a big hug as she enters the carriage. Welcome back. I'm so glad you came back to us, Justine and Anki, and I'll try and give him a little scratch, although it's hard to tell what's the top and what's the bottom.
You're right,
I'm happy to be back to Justine, like talking.
Mina,
gives a hug back.
Mina will, when she gets into the carriage and she sees the new person, she'll be like, "Well, hello there," and sit down next to you and be like, "So you're the help that we were promised. That's amazing. Pleased to make your acquaintance."
Tom, she will again perform the hand kissing.
Oh,
And my, what a lovely collection of ladies we got here.
yeah. We're a motley crew, all right.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
When
This is Mina. My name is Sylvia. And then I'm going to kind of gesture to Aminata because I assume that Aminata is going to want to.
Aminata, enchante, and she's going to extend her hand after seeing you kissing Mina's, while also kind of like eyeing up the outfit and saying, "Nice choice."
Ma'am, I am honored that someone of your refined taste would approve. And it is it is lingering. It is full on making smoky eyes. But she goes,
Aminata is going to sit directly across you.
Of course you are.
Just
I
like
love it.
sitting down. Aminata wouldn't be wearing skirts today, like 100% wearing men's trousers.
Okay. Basically, it is approximately a 3-ish hour journey by carriage to the edge of the forest, and Sophie, you know that once the carriage stops and you alight, it's about another 45 minutes to an hour trek into the forest to find the site where it's okay. You'd be basically told it's smack dab in the middle, so literally just keep walking straight and you should find it within, maybe 50-60 minutes, okay?
So we do know where we're going anyway, roughly.
Yeah, and Sophie was given pretty good detailed directions on how to get there. So yeah, these are good in that respect.
As long as we're in the city and the roads are relatively good and it's not as bumpy, I will. Oh my God, that's gonna sound really weird. I'm gonna oil Albert.
Yes.
And
I assume you mean you're using your new sharpening oil that you got, the enchanted sharpening oil.
absolutely.
I apologize. My cat was playing with my webcam cord.
Aw.
And I'm gonna say like, oh, this is Albert, my Halbert, and yeah, this is a really nice oil I got from your employer. So I'm gonna put that on. So really glad.
So,
He's really glad to get out, you know.
all right. So you're skilled with melee weapons, then, I assume.
Oh yeah. I'm a member of the Swiss Guard,
Excellent.
giant fighter.
Excellent. And the rest of you, the other three, I know.
Oh, I am a druid, so I have some healing magics, but also magics of the earth and nature also. So,
As for myself, I'm skilled with quite a number of things. As
Oh,
well,
I have no doubt of that now.
oh, you. Amanada is going to like tap their thighs. You'll see that they've got 2 revolvers. They would also have a dagger attached to them.
And you also have a cane, don't you?
A
Right.
cane sword
Yeah, you have your cane. Well, all that is visible is a beautiful
is the cane part.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, and then Justine.
I'm a sorcerer. I studied magic in the university. I am proficient in arcane. I know a bit of earth magic, and Justine is kind of going to in a slightly guilty way, kind of look around and say, and I also started studying the sphere of twilight.
Justine.
Because it's not very academic.
No, but it
Nina's
is
like, is it
exciting.
not? Is it not? I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh, the academics turn up their snotty noses at anything that's not of the earth, water, blah blah blah.
I don't find any of the magic to
interesting.
be academic, but that's because I am a druid. I did not study it as
Well,
you did.
The sphere of the arcane would that's the sphere of alchemy, so that would be very much considered. And the sphere of twilight is the sphere of shadows, illusion, scrying. It's the magic of the in-between places. So it's a mixture of spells that deal with conjuring, illusions, controlling shadows, scrying, and also some teleportation.
And at later level, teleportation.
Yes, at later levels, teleportation. So
yes, that was nice.
So
you shoot with guns. That is amazing. You know, some of our members are skilled with troll guns. Have you ever used a troll gun? My uncle though is a traditionalist, and he doesn't really. He thinks that is not a good thing to do. You know what I mean? He prefers halberts and pikes. So
I haven't tried one myself. Mostly back home in Canada.
oh, is that where you're from? Nice.
Indeed, just around the Hudson Bay there. Spent most of my time hunting.
I had a friend from America when I was in the army, so.
And when you hunt, do you eat what you hunt, or are you one of these ones that hunt for sport?
God, no. Ain't no profit in that. I spent some time with the people that were around there. After my pa died.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, I was rather young, but he taught me shooting. I was the only child, you understand?
I too am an only child, so I understand what it can be like to lose someone when you must have been quite close, no?
Yeah, we lived in Kingston, and after that, my mom, she took on some laundry work, and I had to feed us. You understand?
It's not very often that you lose one of the other earners in the household. The children have to pick up some of that slack.
It must be so weird to be an only child.
You must start.
I have five
You
brothers, you know.
you notice Sylvia looking slightly guilty and very uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I learned a lot from the Anishinaabe people, our local people there.
Oh,
Cool.
lovely. And would you be quite close with them? Would you attend any of their, any of their cultural festivities, ceremonies?
It's kind of what got me into the problem that sent me out here, I'm afraid to say.
Oh, now that sounds like some story.
Well, I'm afraid you know that not everyone in the colonies is happy sharing what they think of as land that's rightfully ours with the people that were there when we arrived.
Yeah.
My stepfather, my mother remarried, you understand. My stepfather is a wealthy businessman, and try to appease my mother, I'd much rather be out in the woods than in skirts and corsets. But I attended social events, and I got word that there was some deals going on. They wanted to get more land in Kingston.
Oh,
Try and get rid of some of the Anishinaabe.
Oh, something similar happened here. The Elven King died, and in Prussia they decided, we are going to try and get more land, and that is how the
They
war
went to
started.
war.
So, something
Well, it didn't
similar.
go quite that bad, but I let the Anishinaabe people know, the chief know, that it was a bad deal that was being proposed to them.
And you were got into trouble. Mina's looking at you completely and utterly in awe, like.
Yeah, so
That was an honorable, very wonderful thing that you did.
I like to think so.
Totally.
you will find that you're in quite the right company. We're all fairly staunchly on doing what is right, what is considered just, not just for profit, and especially not for greed. Although, depending on what we find in this mound,
Coin is nice.
Yeah, money is nice to have.
And
It
the
is,
adventure is even better.
oh, the adventure is even better if you survive.
Nice.
And if you don't, well, then you won't be complaining.
Because then
I
your
feel
fight
like
is
if we
over.
don't, Madame Gautier will resurrect us and kill us again, since we owe her money. So we best survive this time.
Well, if
That's
we
all
don't,
I
at
can
least
get
then
to.
the fight
Well,
will be
that's
over.
why I'm here to watch out for your tender skin.
I see. Sophie is here to make sure that Madame Gautier's money reaches her intact. I'm not surprised.
Of course, every sort of expedition like this has to have a handler of sorts.
So I was thinking for when we're going in there, Miss Amanada, would you like to stand beside me or just behind? We'll keep the magic users in the middle.
Oh,
And then if you and Albert would take up the rear
Oh yeah, me and
Prevent
Albert
us
would
from
be
being-
honored to do that.
to prevent us from being surprised by anything.
well, I would also say that some of our magic users would have projectile spells as well. And I know Sylvia has barkskin, I believe. So I'd also recommend just before we go in, we take any precautions that we might need. And absolutely, I agree with taking, I suppose, going up front and having the more squishy of us protected.
Just so.
Justine.
Looking at Justine, yeah.
Sylvia is actually pretty tanky.
Aminata is not going to let anything happen to Justine if they can help it.
Justine, I will cast bark skin on you to give you extra resistance, okay? So don't worry. You'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
You'll be fine.
I've been training, so I'm not as squishy anymore.
I am sure. I am just doing it to keep you safe. And before we go, I can cast a spell on all of us. So if anyone falls in combat, you will not begin to die immediately. It will give me a chance to get to you so I can heal you.
Oh, isn't
Wonderful.
that you're going to stabilize us, no?
No, it's a spell that I cast before we go into the Fey Mound. It will last for the day. And if should anyone fall, it will keep you alive, and I will you will be up, you will be around, you will be okay until I can heal you.
Spark of light.
It lasts for the day or until activated.
Yep.
So if you drop the 0 grit points, you go back up to 1, but now the spell is spent.
It's not the stabilize cantrip.
Yeah.
No,
I cast it on everyone before.
And it won't keep repeatedly bringing you up from 0.
Yeah, it's a one-time deal.
Still a really bloody useful spell. So,
yes.
Justine is sitting there, and she's like, "I've been exercising," and she kind of like shows her arm, and there's nothing there. There's like
no, Mina's like,
no
show me.
muscles.
Wow, very good. What did you do? Did you do pull-ups like I showed? Fantastic. I'm so proud of you.
I'm just picturing Justine borrowing her brother's Indian clubs, you know.
And I'm getting tired after like 6 reps. Like, oh.
Right.
6.
So yeah, those things can be pretty heavy. Like they can be like
they get heavy.
Yeah, they can be like 2-3 kilos each, and you start swinging that around, you feel it quickly. So you have a really great chat, catching like sharing as you said, like all the stuff that you can do. With
as usual,
I'm still giggling at Justine's strength training.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I picture it in my head. And as usual, any sort of flirting is gonna be completely going over Mina's head.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if how much Sophie is flirting with Aminata or Gwyn or anyone else, but as any flirtation that's going on, Mina,
how much do you want to flirt? Yes.
But eventually the carriage, it does get out. It leaves the city boundaries, and you're going along rural roads. They're a bit more bumpy now because it's like not quite crappy dirt track, but it's effectively dirt track roads. You know, we are a couple of decades at the least before we start getting tarmac and paved roads. So
she's like, Mina's like, are you excited, Albert? We're going into a Fey Mound. Yeah, you must be really excited.
And you do notice, like, as you're sharpening it, because you're very familiar with sharpening weapons, of course, Mina. Not just weapons, but farmyard tools. Growing up in a farm, you notice that whatever is in this oil, it is truly magical, because the edge on Albert, you cannot remember it ever being as sharp and fine as it is. So you're like, this is good.
You're looking really dapper, Albert.
So after about 3 hours, the carriage...
Neil, can we say that Gwyn has charged her amulet of protection?
I think that was already charged.
Before we go into this, cool. Just checking.
No, your amulets are your amulet is like an automatic thing, so that resets at dawn, and you can supercharge it to 26 grit, I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Which you would have done the night before, in between the sexy time with Madame Gautier.
She may have had the sense to remind me.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you would have gotten that done before.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. Like, she definitely had to remind you.
Just as Sylvia charged her new mana receptacle the night before, putting the 30 mana.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah,
that it could store. So that's all. No, that's all done now. But yeah, so the carriage stops and it alights. Okay, outside this this forest. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice deciduous forest. It looks like it's mostly oak. Like it's not expanding on for like hundreds of kilometers in more directions. It's clearly smaller than the tronqué forest that you had been exploring in Cherville. So, but nonetheless, these are there. And the the drivers. So I've basically been told to wait here for 2 nights, and if you're not back by tomorrow night, I'm probably not going to see you.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So
They could die, Mina.
Don't suppose then that you have any extra cigarettes on you.
sorry, madame, I smoke a pipe. As he pulls a pipe out from his coat. So
We'll try not to
Just-
stay too long.
so anywho,
Being haunted here, something just
We
fell out of
definitely
the
won't be
blue.
that long. I only have about 2 days left of cigarettes.
okay.
Oh,
So you start your trek down
So,
through the forest.
okay, I'll wait till we get to the Fey Mound, but I am gonna cast Restorative Spark on everyone, and I'm not gonna cast Spark Skin until we're in combat because there's no point.
Yeah, that
It's
only lasts
completely-
like a minute or two, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's true. So there's absolutely no point in me casting it before that.
Okay,
okay,
so
I'm just going to keep an eye out as we travel. I will take point, as discussed, looking for anyone that's probably in between us and the Fey Mound in case there's any sign of ambush.
Oh yeah, the
okay.
sharp eyes of a
So
shooter.
if you want to give me an awareness roll, Kaylee, and that's going to be a +5 to the roll.
Okay. Oh, 17 on the die, so
22.
22, nice.
The only thing that you spot as you're traveling through this forest is birds and squirrels occasionally ahead of you. It's a very mundane forest. You are aware of, you hear the sounds of small animals scurrying underfoot in the understory and in the underbrush, but there's nothing else.
nothing really worth shooting for.
No.
Good. All right.
Like, in fairness, you have a rifle. If I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to hit a squirrel, but there'd be not much left after you did. So.
Also, you may as well save your armor for the Fey Mound.
I don't. I want to impress the cute girls. I'm not going to do that with a squirrel.
Right.
So
you do.
I made a squirrel go boom! Yay!
So
please, I'm Canadian, not American.
Wow.
Yeah, difference. Very important.
Okay. I was gonna make a really inappropriate joke about skills, but anyway.
Go on. Haley's
So,
all for it.
after about an hour-ish, you find yourself, you're very much at the center of the forest when you come upon a site. It's not a mound, but what you see is a very, very large stone, easily 2 meters in size, okay? Several hundreds of kilograms in weight, and it's kind of standing upright, okay? This stone. In between, in a kind of a grove, a circular glen of oak trees, and either side of the stone is 2 oak trees that come out and their branches intertwining, and it's giving off serious fey, portly, magic-y vibes.
Well, this looks enchanted as fuck.
Yeah. So now, so Kaylee, Sophie, you do have 2 very important items that can help you out. You have one item is a moon lamp. So these are enchanted lamps. They look like a bullseye oil lantern, okay? But they give off they magically generate light, and it's a soft silvery glow that mimics the light of the full moon, okay? So it can emit light, bright light to 15 meters and dim light for 15 meters, okay? And you can control the amount of light in it, but its magical properties are that it mimics the properties of the moon. And then you have another item on you which is quite very important, okay? And this is a bottle of moon dust. So this is a small bottle in a finely crafted glass wrapped in silver filigree, and it's filled with what looks like finely ground silver. Okay, this is actually made from silver that is mined from the Fey realm itself. Okay, so it's kind of rare. Okay, and what makes it really powerful is when a handful of this is thrown in the air on a full moon, if it lands on stones or any sort of a site, which is a portal to the Fey realm, or any sort of a magical doorway into a hollow hill or something like that, the portal is revealed and opened. Now, obviously, it is currently around a little after 12. It's like 12:30, maybe 1:45. So there's no full moon out, but you do have a magical lamp that imitates the light of the full moon. So
Well, thank fuck there's no
I'll
full
start to
moon.
set it up.
yeah, so yeah, exactly. So literally just fishing out your moon lamp. You turn the aperture, and that activates the magic, so it's shining. It's quite bright, so the beam from it is not very obvious. But then also, I mean, you probably want to get somebody else to hold it and point it at the stone.
Yep. I will give it. Yeah, I will give it to our melee fighter.
Yeah, so
I can hang it on
mages,
Albert. Here, I get Albert to hold it.
The rest of you, please cover me
and you
in case something
so you
jumps up.
pour a handful of the moon dust into your hand.
And I wait for
the
them
bottle,
to be ready.
Everybody's position, and then you throw it into the air onto the stone. And as Sophie does this, you see it's quite a wondrous sight. So you see this fine silver powder being thrown into the air, and as it hits the stone, you see it suddenly glisten and sparkle as it reacts with the illumination from her enchanted lamp. And that sparkle, that glitter, that light that's being formed, as it hits the stone starts to glow, and the glow turns into the shape of the outline of a doorway. And after a couple of seconds, this full doorway that's been filled or formed of light, the light disappears, and in its place where you had this doorway-shaped section of light, you now see an entrance into what looks to be a tunnel cut into the very stone itself. But whereas if you walked around the stone, it's about maybe 1.5 meters thick, this tunnel is going down what looks to be hundreds of meters into the ground, as if it was carved into the bedrock of a mountain itself. So it's like, does not compute.
Wow.
Does not compute.
All right.
Mina is
Are we
like,
ready?
this is so sparkly. I love it.
So beautiful.
Very, very important question. Gwyn, are you wearing your glasses?
Absolutely. I'm not gonna. I have a fairy globe, but there's no way I'm going to take it out because it will draw attention to us. My cool Dracula glasses that allow me to see in the dark are on.
So this is the thing. Sophie, you are a mundane human as far as I remember, aren't you?
Yep.
Or are you Fey touched? I can't remember.
I'm mundane.
Yeah, you're mundane, and Justine is mundane. So they will both need light to
And
be able
Sylvia.
Oh, sorry, and Sylvia as well. Yes, Justine?
I have Anki.
Well, I was going to say you can use Anklegon. You can see through his eyes, but Sylvia and Sophie would need a light. So you do have the moon lamp, which is a lamp, so that will work.
Before we go into the Fey Mound, I'd like to cast Restorative Spark on everybody.
Okay, so you cast Restorative Spark on everybody, including yourself. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is going to be 12 mana.
12 mana.
Yeah.
Okay. So 12 mana deducted. So Sylvia goes around, touches you all, and blesses you all, and you feel this nice, warm, tingly sensation as she does. And
It's a one-time deal. Try not to die.
Oh, Sylvia.
Always my
We know you
plan.
care.
All right. I'm
So
gonna.
soft.
Sorry,
Oh
what?
my God.
Now tonight's game will be Theatre of the Mind. I wasn't bothering with Roll20. It's just too much hassle, and with this many players, it would have been hard.
It probably crashed.
to fit onto the overlay and running that through OBS. I didn't trust it. Even though I have a very, very good graphics card, a very expensive graphics card on my computer, I just don't trust OBS itself. Okay?
Yeah, but our internet might then shit the bed. So like,
Yeah.
This will be theater of the mind. So I hope that everybody's okay with that. But don't worry, I won't take long killing you all. So it'll be quick.
I know Neil is a bastard like that.
So the passageway, it's approximately a meter wide. So two people can be going alongside each other, but they'll be tight, or one person kind of comfortably in a row. What is the marching order?
So Gwyn will say, I can see in the dark through these glasses, so I can take someone's hand.
Well, first, do I have like a regular lamp?
No, because you don't need a regular lamp, because the moon lamp does the same job as a regular
lamp. All right, well,
so
I'll hand that to you.
Yeah,
I do have a fairy globe. If anyone would like to use that, I would just be concerned that lighting our way might
give away
any monsters to our presence. But by all means, if someone would like to take it to feel safer, absolutely, and I'll hold it out.
You know what? If they've been living there for however long, chances are they can see in the dark, and they'd be able to see us much better than I'd be able to see them in the dark.
You know, but
there's always a chance that enough light can blind them.
You have been told by Madame Gautier when she commissioned you to do this job that from her research, she's pretty certain no Fey have lived on this site for at least a century, maybe more.
Yeah, Fey don't, but beasties might.
Yeah, that is true. There could be other magical creatures here or traps, but none of that. So what is that? So is Sophie going in the front with her moon lamp?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Who is going next?
I will go next.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And then who's going after Aminata?
I'll go next, and I will root in my goblin purse and pull out my fairy globe and give it to Sylvia, who's the only one without a lamp.
Oh, I have one.
Sylvia has.
You have one?
Yeah, Sylvia.
Then I'll give it to Kaylee just in case she needs an additional light source.
Cool.
I will hand something to Aminata because my gun needs two hands.
Yeah, I'll take the globe.
The globe or the lamp? Which?
Wait, the lamp would probably.
The lamp. The lamp is better. It projects a beam of 15 meters.
The lamp.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take the lamp and kind of hold back.
The rifle needs two hands. That's true. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be in the back then.
Okay. So
as discussed in the carriage.
So Sophie, Aminata, Gwyn. I assume the squishy sorcerer is going in the middle.
Yes,
we'll protect you, Joséphine.
With Sylvia directly behind the squishy sorcerer.
I will go behind the squishy sorcerer.
And the tiny tank is defending the rear, yes?
Yep. Me and Albert are defending the rear, yeah.
Cool. Okay. So you walk along down this tunnel for approximately 100 meters or so, okay? It's at a slow decline, so as you're walking, you are going deeper and deeper into the earth. Aminata, have you ever been in a Fey Mound? I'm not sure.
Not one of the French ones, no.
No. So, but you had been in one or two in Mali, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not uncommon in these Fey Mounds that there'll be like bioluminescent like lichen on the walls, or even like crystals that will give off a light, which can be quite beautiful and magical. There's none of that here. None of that at all. Like if it were not for the illumination from the moon lamp, you would be in pitch black, okay? Because once you had gone a couple of meters, the portal or the doorway did close up and seal behind you, okay? Now you're quite like when you turned around, like it did shimmer, so you're like, okay, we should be able to get out the same way we got in. But you Aminata, who have been in one or two Fey Mounds, were like, yeah, this is it. It feels abandoned, you know.
So it feels kind of dead.
It does. Like you're breathing air that feels like it has not been disturbed in a century. It's this stale, musty, dry odor to the air itself. Okay. The ground beneath you, it's a soft, powdery kind of earth, almost like a sand, but not quite. There is no visible tracks there indicating the passage of any creatures. You do hear a sound, and it's the faintest and occasional drip of water, which, you know, in a subterranean area isn't completely out of place.
Okay, cool.
You know, but so that's it. So you're traveling off about 100 meters or so, going slowly, obviously being very, very careful, until you suddenly, as you're about maybe 80 meters down, you do start seeing a bit of a faint light ahead of you. All right. And then when you get to the end of this tunnel, you find yourself coming into a large chamber, okay? It's about 4 meters high. Looks like it's approximately 15 meters wide. And you reckon it goes on for maybe 40 or 50 meters. And you now see where the light was coming from, because it is filled with stalagmites jutting up out of the ground. And these stalagmites appear to be made of crystal, like pure jagged crystal.
Ooh.
Faintly glowing with a silvery blue light. Okay.
Is it like the crystal that's in Castle or Moraine's palace? That kind of an idea?
No. The palace of the Lady of the Forest was a clear, almost glass-like crystal. It was like,
Okay, so
This is blue.
it's a faint,
Okay.
a faint kind of whitish, bluish kind of glow coming from these crystals. So, like, it's literally like this chamber is filled with literally hundreds of stalagmites, all coming up out of the ground at different angles. And you can see just faintly about 15 meters ahead of you, the outline of what looks to be a exit out to continue out of the chamber.
I think we should watch our step in case, you know, one of these moves suddenly and, you know, impales someone.
Impaling is bad.
I can't fix that very well, I'm afraid. But, you know, yeah, impaling is bad.
All right.
It is so pretty, though.
But
Look at it.
we should restrain
careful.
from touching anything for the time being.
I agree, Aminata.
I would really like to take one of these and make it into a club.
That would be quite some feat. We'd have to see if we set off any of the mound's defenses, if there's still any. It smells quite old.
How often?
Quite
Now,
dead.
we don't have many of these back home. How often do these things get abandoned? And you think they're...
It's like...
Sometimes they are seasonally left alone, and sometimes another clan will move in and they will kill each other. They get abandoned sometimes, but it's very hard to know because Fey Mounds are so dangerous. Humans would not usually go into them, you know?
Yeah, all I know about them is back home, we're always warned never to go near them because the stories of people going near them, they lose their mind and inevitably something terrible happens to them.
The other really dangerous thing in this world is that you have not all, but some portals are actually not portals into Fey Mounds, but portals into the Fey realm itself. So if you are in the hollow hills and enchanted mounds of a fairy or a fae, you know, you might in theory be okay. But if you accidentally go into the Fey realm, then that's when you are in trouble. That's when you come out and you think it's only been a month and it's been like 8 decades and you suddenly age 80 years in a few moments. So that's another reason why the average human does not go near these things voluntarily.
No.
But yeah, so as Sylvia explained, it's there's no definitive answer to this because the Fae can be nomadic, so they can leave a site and then come back, and then they might have wars and conflicts and kick each other out, but then sometimes they are abandoned. So what is the plan?
All right, I want to inspect for... I didn't do it.
Before anything happens, Aminata is going to want to detect and disarm any traps or hidden secrets.
Yes, of course. So that's an awareness.
Go rogue!
Yeah, that's why you need a rogue.
That's an awareness roll, and you get an additional +2 to that, because you have beginner level detect and disarm traps and hidden secrets.
Could I also
honestly.
use my keen eyes?
Oh yeah. It's additional 2 on top of your awareness and keen eyes. So plus
Okay.
5.
Okay,
Can
so that
I
is
assist
Go on.
her?
that's a 20. That's a 22.
Yeah, okay, Sophie could assist her a
Nice.
little bit. Your assistance would be an extra +1 to the roll because you don't have the specific skills that she has as a rogue. So that makes it a 23.
Awesome. 20.
So this is the thing. You don't see any sort of obvious tripwires or pressure plates or any good old traditional dungeon crawly type traps.
Yeah.
But
Oh, what about? Oh, sorry. Okay.
But what you do notice, and you haven't really moved in, is these stalagmites aren't just glowing, they have a very faint hum to them.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Definitely don't touch it.
Has the humming changed since we've entered the space, or has it been the same constant level? Like, has it moved as we've moved forward, or?
Well, you haven't really moved forward. You've been kind of like being a safe adventure and scoping it out from where you've been standing, when you came in, because nobody's actually said that they've started walking through them yet.
Okay.
That's how
And
you get dipped.
in terms of the humming, would this be like something that would have been, I don't know, written about in terms of Fey lore or anything like that?
It probably means they're magic.
That's a lot of fucking help, isn't it?
Thank you.
I have determined there is
Can I
magic
do a
here.
Fey lore check?
Sure.
That's what I was asking for.
Yeah,
I have Fey lore as well.
Oh, you do have Fey lore as well.
That was
these
17 plus 2.
Yeah, so
19?
between the two of you,
They're magical.
Between the two of you, you reckon it's
Tiny.
probably a good idea to try to not get too close to them.
Yeah. I will also check around us for any like loose pebbles, stones that are on the floor.
Yeah, sure, easy. Yeah.
And I'm just going to lob a few
Chuck
down
them.
the way. Yeah.
Click, 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 click. Nothing.
And I want to try and lob one at one of those stalagmites. Nothing. Okay, so it probably has to be something that's quite living.
We're never going to know unless we try. I mean, I think what you're doing is smart, and we're being careful. But
no, I'm just saying. We should avoid touching them.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
Proceed with caution, because for all we know, the closer we get to them, the louder the humming is going to get. All of a sudden, we have no eardrums, and so.
Well,
I like my eardrums. I would actually.
I like your
to keep
eardrums
them.
too.
Yeah,
well, you all
thank
have
you.
charming ears, so I will step ahead.
Okay, so Sophie, you start to move in.
Sylvia is just like, oh Christ!
As soon as Sophie starts to step in and gets there is obviously a path between them, and you start trying to make your way through the path between them, they start to hum, and you see some of them actually start to move, gliding across the floor randomly in directions, with some of them looking like they are maybe going to strike Sophie. So Sophie, I need you to give me a dexterity, and then you can add acrobatics, or you have quick reflexes, you can add that. So dex, quick reflexes, that's +5 to your roll, please.
All right. Come on, baby girl.
Did you roll a 1? Oh no.
A 2.
What was
A
that?
A 2.
2. Total
Okay.
of 7.
All right. So you as you're trying to dodge past one, another known spotter come beside you, and it glances against you, and it slices into your arm, and you take 4 points of damage.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ow.
Can I? Sorry, when that happens, can I turn around, just clamp a hand onto Justine, and I'm gonna cast Bark Skin.
Absolutely, you can.
Justine, you get 14 grip points. I'll give you your character sheet.
Amanada is going to step up behind Sophie and say, "It might be best if I proceed." and I will try and get through using my cat's grace, but also trying to remember.
Yeah.
Like, are there any patterns actually?
No,
Yeah,
because
actually.
this is the thing is they're starting to move, like maybe there's a pattern, but if there is, it's going to be hard to spot because as soon as you
We
start
haven't
to
been
move
there
in,
long enough.
they're starting to move in random directions. So for you, Aminata, as a rogue, you've got a pretty so you've got 2 for dex of 2 plus 1 for cats for quick reflexes is a 3.
My
plus
cat's
4
grace
for,
gives me a +4.
so that's a +7 to your roll.
Fucking rogues, man.
I have a +5.
That is a
not
nat 20. That is a 27.
Okay, so
All right.
you managed to dodge out of the way of one. Okay, so you're good. All right. Who is anybody else who's going next? I believe Gwyn was next.
Yep. You're mute, Neve, in case you're talking.
Neve? Yeah, you there? Her connection might have dropped. So we'll move on. Who's next?
I was after.
Yeah.
It was
Justine was there. Justine is in front of you.
Yeah.
Justine is in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Justine has like a grace of potato sacks, so.
Yeah, you and me both, girl.
So yeah, Justine, that's a plus.
That's a 19.
Plus your modifier, which is 0. So
that's still a 19.
So you
training not for nothing.
The training, the calisthenics you've been doing is kicking in as you dodge out of the way. All right, Sylvia, you're next.
Sorry, I'm just looking at my own decks.
Uh-huh.
Am I looking at quick reflexes here?
Quick reflexes, exactly.
Awesome. Okay.
Well, what's from the other side of the?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a 14.
14 passes.
Oh, amazing.
In total.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a great roll, but you don't have a very high dex.
I'm not a dex-based character. I'm resolve.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Neve's dropped.
Yeah, she's that figure.
I'm not going to adjust the overlay. We'll just continue.
She'll be back. She'll be back.
She will be back. Yeah, plagued with internet. So
you all look bigger now.
Apologies, viewers. We will be adjusting the overlay.
Is that a comment on my weight?
So
no, it's because the screen has become like everybody's windows become bigger on my screen.
Me
not at all. I mean, you should see me.
I'm just cheating.
Mid-Jillian man.
My shoulders are not this big in real life.
Yes, me. Okay, cool. Give me a second. Oh, a 19 plus 3 is 21.
22. So
yeah, 22 even. Yes.
So as you are all passing through, these crystals of stalagmite are moving across you all quite quickly. You are slowly making progress. Sophie did get sliced by one. The rest of you all managed to dodge. And you do see like there is definitely paths if you can time your movements correctly and keep your wits about you. This will be possible, but it is going to be tricky. Okay, so are we continuing forward or are we going to retreat?
Continuing forward, but first, someone wants to say to Aminata, Mamselle, you are the most graceful creature I've ever had the honor of laying eyes on.
Aminata is going to look back and say, thank you.
Right. So, Sophie, can you give me a fresh dex roll, okay? So, it's still the same +5 to your modifier.
Okay. New die this time.
Come on, Mama needs a new pair of shoes.
15.
That'll do.
15 total?
15 total.
That is enough. Okay, so next is Aminata.
That is 18.
You gracefully and effortlessly pass your way through, dodging and pirouetting around the razor-sharp crystal stalagmites. Okay. Next up is Gwyn, but the internet gods have cursed Neve again, so we'll just
Go to
continue on.
Justine.
Yeah. So Justine.
Okay, you said something about trying to predict the patterns.
You could try.
She might try to do that.
Okay.
Um,
So that will be an intellect roll, and depending on how well you do that, may give you a bonus to your dex roll. Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
perfect. She's a smart girl.
She is.
She is.
She is the smartest cookie.
So give me your intellect roll.
16 plus my 4 intellect modifier, so that's 20.
An
Yeah.
unnatural 20. Okay, right. You do think you're possibly spotting a slight her resonance in the movement. Okay. So that's a really good roll. I'm gonna say that's gonna be a +2 bonus to your dex. Okay. So
Nice.
you do still need to give me dex roll, but you're getting a +2 bonus.
Let's see if that training's paid off, eh?
Yeah.
10. So that's 12 in total.
Unfortunately, as much as you're trying, you're like, you think you know what way it is, but you just can't dodge fast enough, even though you're like, it's bad because you're like, oh crap, I know what way is coming, and you try to dodge it, but you're just not quick enough. However, you only take 3 points of damage.
Keep training.
But that's absorbed from the bark skin. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're still okay. All right.
And
So Sylvia, you're up.
Good job, Sylvia.
I got. Oh, I actually got a natural 20.
Okay, so jumping along like with cat-like grace.
Sylvia's uncharacteristically graceful here.
And Mina,
I rolled a 13. 16.
you get through fine. So, you're nearly halfway across the chamber at this stage, okay? There's more crystals, and they do appear to be speeding up a bit, and there's just more of them because you're deeper in, so it is getting harder to dodge them. So I need a fresh round of dexterity checks.
Mm-hmm.
Wish me luck, lady.
What's that?
Hey, it worked. 18 on the die, +5 for 23.
Okay, yeah, that's not a problem for you. Not a problem at all.
She is definitely trying to show off a bit for Aminata.
Okay. Cool, of course. Aminata,
Love
I think,
it.
would respect that. So Aminata, it's your turn.
So I also rolled an 18. So
+7
with my
is 25.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Fucking
You
rogues.
dodged better.
Okay.
I
Next.
looks like this is just a dex off now.
Yeah. That's off. I love it.
That's only one letter away.
Next would be Gwyn, but we'll continue on. Justine, it's your roll.
I wonder.
Okay.
And your camera is working as well.
Sorry, just to interrupt our viewers and podcasters for a second. Neve, I just sent you a message on WhatsApp.
okay.
That is ominous.
Oh, God.
What are
Secrets.
we doing now?
We
So
are
are we
doing
still
dex,
avoiding
Secrets.
stealth?
it's dex acrobatics. You are nearly halfway across the chamber.
There's
But
this
the
kind of moving.
The target number is getting higher as the crystal stalagmites are moving faster and there's more of them. So it's actually your turn
Goodness.
you
Okay.
to roll.
Yes, perfect.
Oh no.
Perfect timing.
Have you
Oh, no,
frozen
she's
again?
frozen.
It is.
I have.
But you can hear us, can you?
No, she's
I can
frozen.
fix
I don't
this.
I have a win.
Oh, did she freeze?
There you
Oh,
go.
you're back.
Yeah,
There you go.
your camera is freezing on us, Neve. So I'll tell you what, we'll come back to Neve in a second. Justine, did you roll that time?
No, I was trying to. I was
What's the
trying
party
to think.
season?
So Neve, you're breaking up on us and your camera's freezing.
She's moving like frame.
I know.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
Neve, you have become clay animation.
Yep.
Effectively, yeah.
And the black hair
Okay.
start to
Right, I'll describe this because I know what's happening. And
in her face and her neck,
uh-huh.
and her eyes glow. Her eyes glow red, and she starts to shrink.
Yes.
Oh.
So
Wait,
yeah,
Start to shrink.
So what was the whole thing about hair?
I'll describe this because Neve, your connection keeps breaking up. Okay, so seeing how difficult it is. These crystal stalagmites are getting faster. Gwyn's form suddenly starts to shift. You see black hair appearing along her skin. Her eyes turn to a reddish color, and her form shifts. And in a moment where once she stood, you see a black cat, which Mina you immediately recognize as looking very familiar to a black cat that was in the inn where you were bare knuckle fighting only 2 days ago.
My.
I look at that cat going like a.
And in my cat form, I just start darting around.
In this cat form, effortlessly getting through the stalagmites and overtaking Sophie and Amanada.
I have
That's just cheating.
I have a quick question.
Yes?
So while
You little
doing this,
fuck.
Aminata would be trying to discern if the stalagmites are moving faster the more people proceed.
I'll tell you now, even based on how high your detect traps roll was, it doesn't appear to be the more people, but the deeper you get.
Just the deeper we get.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
so
Because
you did roll really well on that detect trap. So based on that, say no. The deeper we get in, and the further we're getting through this chamber, the harder the magic is making it for us. Okay, so Gwyn is now. Gwyn and Sophie, I'm not even going to make you roll an awareness. You spot the rest of the party seeing Gwyn change into a cat. Are like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, everybody is shocked, not just you. So I think Justine, did you roll that time? Sorry, I can't remember.
No, I was trying to think if I can try and use the spell magic.
Oh,
probably not.
You that would be a lot of mana.
It would be a lot of mana, and
I'm
I
not
think
even
it wouldn't last.
I'm not even going to make you do an arcane lore roll. That would be an expensive use of your magic to try and stop magic like this would be very expensive.
But I still do get the modifier to my dexterity roll, right?
Yeah, you do. Okay, so let's try again.
We believe in you, Squishy.
13. So plus 2, that's going to be 15.
That's enough. You just barely dodged this time. Okay, so Sylvia, it is your go.
That is that's only a 10.
Total?
Yep.
Okay, you take 4 points of slashing damage, and Mina, it's your go.
Oh, I rolled a 13 in total.
Okay, you also
gonna smash into me.
You also get a slice for 4 points of slashing damage. Okay.
Yep.
So you are now nearly. You are now.
Oh, it's my armor taking any of that, or is
no?
it
It slices through the armor. It slices through the armor.
Yep. Nearly thought so.
So
magic.
Mundane armor is not going to protect you. The enchanted armor of the
I
bark skin
figured.
spell, that's working.
Yeah.
Not this. So
No, totally fair.
We're gonna get you some sexy force-based armor, and it's gonna be awesome.
So you are over halfway through the chamber, but still not quite there now. You are nearly getting there.
I don't know about sexy.
I need a fresh roll. So Sophie.
No. Oh, ladies, I suggest we hurry. That is 16 on the dice, or 21 total.
Yeah, you're dodging still. You as a gunslinger, you have very good reflex. You're very not as agile necessarily as Amanada, but very well coordinated, and you're able to move with that. So
can I make an awareness check to see if Amanada is liking my moves?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Natural 20.
I am swooning so hard.
I love it.
Okay, excellent. So, Amanada, it's your roll.
Yes. So I rolled a 15. That'll be a 22.
Yeah, no problem at all. No
I was
problem.
literally just about to say don't swim too hard, but you've got
Yeah.
nothing to worry about.
Gwyn is now in her cat form, like well ahead of you all, bouncing between the stalagmites and nearly at the edge of the chamber. No problem at all. Like, she's a cat. We all know cats are basically ninjas, okay? So this is not a problem, okay? So, Justine, it's your go.
Vindictive death ninjas.
Yeah.
11 in total.
Oh no, you get another strike. Now you do have the spell. That's another 5 points taken off the spell. How much grit was the spell again, Sylvia? Was it
16.
14 points.
14. So that's another 5 taken off. So another strike, but the bark-like texture that is covering your body magically, thanks to the druid of the party, is protecting you from actually being injured. Sylvia, it's your go.
That was, I can't see. Oh, that was definitely a fail. It was a 2, so I got a 4.
Ooh.
3 points of damage, okay?
Okay.
And Mina, your go.
Oh, I rolled a free, so 6 in total.
Oh, no.
I'm getting
Oh my,
worse.
what is happening, people? Pull it together.
3
I'm not a
3
dex
points of damage.
based person.
3 points,
So,
he said. Yeah.
So you're nearly there. You reckon you're just nearly broke. You've nearly gotten through it all. Our last round of rolls, Sophie.
All right. Another 2. So total 7.
2 points of damage. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, Aminata.
That
Too
is
much showing off.
That's a 17.
Total?
Yeah.
Oh my god, we are distracting
That
each
is
other.
just enough. Okay. Gwyn is now at the exit of the chamber, just sitting there, kind of looking at you all.
Probably like
probably meowing at us, being like,
Yeah. Looking and judging you all. Justine?
Where's my food, bitch?
exactly.
So, Justine, what's your roll?
6.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Another 3 points.
You're giving Aminata heart attacks here.
Sylvia, it's your go.
This is why I cast that spell on her.
Yes.
Yeah, thank God.
I should have shot these. I should have just tried to shoot these.
That's
that's only a 14, so
That's a fail.
Yeah,
So 4 points.
okay. I have 61 grit. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I have
Sylvia's fucking gunslingers.
Okay. So that was, and then Mina.
I rolled a fucking 2.
Jesus.
Oh
Christ.
my god.
So a 5.
Dice jail, right away.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Mina,
Yeah, I'm switching out my dice.
5 points, Mina.
Ugh,
Okay.
bloody hell.
So you all finally make your way through the chamber. Some of you having a couple of cuts and scrapes. No individual cut really deep and severe, but some of them were adding up a bit. Justine, you were very thankful of the spell that Sylvia had cast on you, because you would be very badly injured at this point if not.
How is everybody feeling? Now is not the time to be brave.
I got a little couple of knocks, but Albert is fine.
Yeah, I'm not healing Albert. I'm healing you.
No, I'm okay.
All right.
Standing.
The rest of you?
I'm fine. Save your magic for if I'm really hurt.
All right.
Unless you can fix my coat.
No, that is not a spell. There is a cantrip for mending fabric, but I don't know it. Vin, do you know that one?
Meow.
Yeah, while we're on that subject, did
Yeah, once for
kind of
yes,
brushes yourself down.
twice for no.
So
I want to learn that spell.
So, folks, having
Oh yeah, actually, can I try to grab her by the scruff
she's
of her
already
neck?
changed back to her human form. So
I'm like, oh, you have. I'm like, why did you spy on me?
You can talk about that at a later date.
I was just checking you were okay. I wasn't going to interfere.
So,
Right.
having
You knew of her events the other night? Oh no, Neve.
having gotten through this first chamber, standing at the exit to another tunnel that is probably about 30-40 meters away, and now the musty smell being replaced by the faint smell of trees and forest.
Yep.
I think this is a perfect place to pause in our story. So we're going to take a very quick break. We will be back in 5 minutes, folks, and see what happens next. Okay. So don't go too far, because we won't be going too far ourselves, and we will see you all back here very soon. Okay. 5 minutes.
You guys all have to remember that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, we're back.
So,
We're back.
hello, folks. Thank you for joining us. When last we left our heroes, they were making their way through a Fey Mound. They had gotten through the first chamber of this mound, filled with crystal stalagmites jutting out of the ground. And as the party tried to progress across the chamber, the stalactites started to move, crisscrossing over their paths, slicing into some of our party members, doing some injuries, minor injuries to them. Thankfully, nothing too severe. The party sorcerer, having a very difficult time dodging these moving pieces of stone, was thankfully protected by the defensive spell that her dear friend Sylvie had cast on her just before they entered, the Barkskin spell, preventing her from any other serious harm. We are having some issues. Neve is having some issues with her connectivity, so she may be dropping in and out of the call, unfortunately. Nothing we can do about that. Hopefully she'll be back with us soon. And I'm not going to adjust the overlay right now because if and when she does come back, this will all reset. So we shall return. So, standing in front of the this new tunnel that leads on about 40 meters or so, you reckon? And you can see there is kind of light towards the end of this tunnel, so whatever chamber or next section of the mound you'll be going into does also appear to have some sort of illumination. And whereas before the air smelled stale and musty, like a room that had not been opened in decades, now you can get the very faintest scent of plant life and possibly trees.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm going to switch around my rifle so I can use the butt to probe the ground in front of me.
Okay, sure, of course. You can do that. And Amanada, of course, if you want to do any detect traps, certainly that you decide,
Yes.
okay?
I will detect traps, and I'll also use my cane for the same reason, for the same thing.
Oh, if only we had a random 10-foot pole.
Exactly. And
oh, come on, who would carry that?
I will still
That makes
also
Albert.
be chucking pebbles.
Yeah, cool. So what was your roll on your detect traps?
Oh, Jesus, not 20 again.
Yes. You're not spotting anything.
What dice do you have? I've got to get those.
No, it's those my dice that I did not buy for this character.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah, of course. The dice you buy for your character always roll terribly for that character.
Because I remember the dice that you got for Selena in campaign 1 were like,
they rolled shit.
You were just like, I
They
actually
wrote
can't use these. This is
shit.
fucking ridiculous.
So, same marching order as before. Sophie, Amanada, Gwyn, Justine, Sylvia, and Mina, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I might take the lead on this one, just in case if I do spring something, I seem to be the most dexterous.
Yeah, sure.
So I might be able to.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I will kiss your hand again and slide behind you, and yeah, she's looking at it.
Yep, of course.
Uh-huh.
So
I'm not gonna flick her hair.
slowly making your way forward. After a few moments, it was only about a 40-meter tunnel, not very long at all. You find yourself coming into a second chamber, and as you come in, the light that's coming into you, this is bizarre. Looking up at the chamber, you don't see a ceiling, you see blue sky. And the chamber in front of you does not appear to be a chamber, but rather a vast forest.
Oh no. We don't.
And if there is a Fey Mound, we can't do anything about it now.
Should we,
Okay.
should we... Look, I've been hired for this and to protect you, but should we leave?
Well, that's the problem with leaving. Amanada's going to look behind us to see if there's any way we could possibly get back. But there was no other way than to proceed forward.
As with everything else, the only way out is through, so...
Magicians, I don't suppose you can tell me that... no, Sophie is just going to light up a cigarette. I don't suppose you all magicians could tell me this is an illusion.
Actually,
No.
There is.
yes, Justine, you could cast Detect Magic, and if this is an illusion, you would immediately know.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
So you cast Detect Magic, and you are immediately not overwhelmed, but like hit by just a sea of arcane power surrounding you. Okay? You are in a place that is made of magic, but there is no indication that this is an illusion. This is clearly magical because it's a bloody forest underground with a blue sky overhead. So it is incredibly magical, but you're pretty sure that it's real on at least some level.
So very conveniently, I also have a fairy dragon.
Yeah.
Who is a fairy. So the fairy magic should not do anything to him.
No.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to command him to just fly around and see what the story is. If the illusion breaks, if the illusion doesn't break, and I'm going to look through his eyes.
Yes, of course. So you take a moment and you close your eyes looking through Anklagons as the small, cat-sized, black-scaled fairy dragon leaps off your shoulder and flies out into the trees, weaving between the canopy, taking a minute or two, going up over the trees to look down and around. Yeah, I mean, what he sees is the kind of stuff that you would expect to see in a forest. Squirrels, birds, some deer. But this, for all intents and purposes, it does appear to be a real and genuine forest.
So you know, Fey Mound, it could just be.
Well, at least it's not a portal to the fairy realm. That's something.
Yes, that is better than before.
Yeah, and so Anklagon doesn't spot anything like weird, because I'm sure as a fairy dragon you'll be able to distinguish like a real forest from not a real forest. So to him it's a real forest, yeah.
To him it feels very much like home. And if you try to communicate with him, because you can through emotion and pictures, he's giving off vibes of home, which to him was the Tronque Forest.
Yeah.
Which was a enchanted forest filled with not just fae, but magical animals that could speak, trees that could move on their own or move when commanded by the lady of the forest. It's giving off a very similar energy to the Tronque Forest. Whether that is good or bad is up to you, but yes.
Okay, can I see if there's anything alive and moving around here?
Give me an awareness. Give me awareness roll.
This sounds more like an area with my expertise could come into play.
Yeah, actually.
So that's 16 on the die, which is a dirty 20, I believe.
Plus keen eyes, 21. I mean, it looks very much like a normal forest to you. You spot a couple of little critters bouncing around in the trees. As I said, some birds, some squirrels and stuff like that. But it seems like a normal forest.
Right. I think we should just keep moving through and try.
I will say, when Anklagon is doing his flight around, and when he does get to a good height, you do see that off in the distance, you do see what looks like possibly the end of the chamber that this forest is in. So if you keep going effectively straight, you should eventually get through the forest and out of this chamber.
Yeah, I'm going to command Anklagon to follow us, but to follow us and look at us from above and alert me if there's anything dangerous approaching us.
Okay. Sorry, Justine, you're not like looking through his eyes. You don't need help getting through your... Right?
Yeah, no, I'm not looking through his eyes, but I'm telling him to tell me
to command,
if he spots something.
Yeah, because as long as you're within, I think I can't remember, it's like 100 meters or something.
Yeah, I think it's 100.
He can message us, so yeah.
Mamselle Emanata, if you'd lead the way, I'll cover you. And she shoulders, I'm so sorry. She shoulders her gun.
Right, so...
You hear, Aminata, you hear in your head via the lesser telepathy cantrip Sylvia saying, yeah, I bet she will.
Aminata is actually just going to like and proceed. But as they do, they're just gonna like put a little more swing in their hip, just to poke fun at that comment.
So, yeah, as I said, you are continuing along through this forest for a good while. You're not sure how long. You do occasionally like hear the sounds of movement of animals, and once or twice you see what looks like a deer or something starting off. A fox at one stage pokes its head out of a bush and looks at you all cockily like a fox does, and then just continues on its merry way.
Sorry, Neil, I have a question.
Yes.
You know, Sylvia is sort of obviously really comfortable with forests.
Absolutely.
How's the vibe in here? Is it kind of like Dryad's Grove or Truncae Forest or the forest where she did her training or that kind of
similar vibe to the Truncae Forest and the enchanted forest that you had previous experience in, that was full of Fey and ruled by an elven lady. It's similar vibe to that.
Okay, I just wanted to check for like if it was like Druid Grove kind of thing.
No. Very similar.
Or sorry, Dryad Grove.
Yeah. So as you're going on, you're maybe going about 30-40 minutes traveling through this forest when Anglagon notices some movement in the trees ahead and kind of relays this to you. But it's kind of a weird kind of movement. It's not like something large is traveling through and disturbing the trees. The trees are just moving on their own.
Oh, so like the trees in the Truncae Forest.
Maybe.
Like when they made an arch and like fired us into the Fey realm.
You don't know. You're mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yustine's trying to describe as best as she can what she saw.
So, if anybody wants to give me awareness rolls, they can.
Absolutely. And would it be possible for Aminata to use their revealing insight feat? I'm not sure if it works because it's empathy and behavioral based, so I'm not sure if that relates.
Maybe you can empathize with the trees.
Yeah. Actually, I am a nymph Fey touch, so.
Can we
give me a roll first of all?
I've got to add that spell to my wish list. I've been compiling a wish list.
That is 19.
I got a total. Oh, sorry. I got a natural 20 for a total of 25.
Okay, and Aminata, yours was 19 plus.
I rolled a 19 plus 2 for my. Oh, 3, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 22. Okay, so we have a nat 20 to total of 25, 22.
And as a druid, I get to re-roll perception checks in natural surroundings. So
I got a 19.
That
total.
was if I'm adding keen eyes, that was a 21.
Okay, right. So, that's some really great rolls. So this is what you notice as you're moving along through the forest. A few of you spot that it's kind of weird, but the bark on some of the trees, the way the little knots and whirls in the bark, like
oh no,
they almost look like faces.
That's horrifying.
It was like, yay, but also okay.
Yeah. So,
are they friendly faces or are they angry faces? Okay.
Oh, is this like? Sorry, just because we have a 4-year-old who's obsessed with My Little Pony. This is a particular episode when they're in the spooky forest and the trees all look really angry.
If you want to try and use laughter,
no, I am not.
The scariness, like Pink.
Sylvia is not going to use laughter to banish.
You could try to overcome the challenges using the magic of friendship.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship is magic. So absolutely.
I mean, that's what we've been doing so far, right?
Yeah, I think she's gonna practice proper gun safety and aim her gun at the ground. It'd be like,
I might say some words just to try and get our intention across. Like, just we're not here with the intention to destroy anything sort of vibes is what I want to put across. Like,
We're
what
here
did my
for
revealing
calm.
insight do?
So you're getting a vibe of like possible hostility from these trees.
Okay. Yeah, so Aminata is going to step forward and she's going to curtsy because she's like, listen, they are probably hella fucking old. I'm going to respect the elders and say we have no intent on destroying your forest. We are adventurers and we do not intend any malice in your home.
Okay, give me a charm roll.
Pretend we're not here to steal shit.
Well, technically, I was not lying because there
Yeah,
is
we're not
no
here to
intent
hurt
in malice.
anyone.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
We
this-
only want to rob them blind.
this
It's
is-
fine.
This is persuasion, because you are, and you add your wordsmith modifier as well. So that's
Can I add my conversationalist?
yes, but only because you have the same level of training in Fey lore.
Okay, cool. So that is 14. So my charm and persuasion, that's 17. Conversationalist is 19, and then
Plus
my
4.
so 23.
Okay. Right.
I don't like that laugh at all.
Mina is hearing this and she's kind of putting Albert towards the ground and going like, he's not an axe.
But she was just gonna be like, who's this one?
Okay, so this is what happened. Because
He's only here for emotional support for you, yeah?
that was a ridiculous roll by you,
Not
Amanada.
to chop trees.
Okay, that was a ridiculous roll by you, Amanada. So, but it was brilliant and a good use of your skills. So this is what happens. These trees, their facial expressions do not change in any way. Okay.
Facial expression.
You do see some of the branches moving on their own. So these trees are clearly not a normal tree, not a mundane tree. Okay, clearly some sort of a magical or fey-like tree. Okay, but you also notice that some vines on the ground had been squirming around, and some of them had been coming up. They're actually coming towards you all, but they stop their movement. And the trees start to shift slightly, and actually they physically are moving themselves and parting, revealing a pathway for you all through this section of the forest anyway.
Oh, thank you so much.
So.
Aminata is going to again curtsy and lead the way through the path.
So, yeah.
Sylvia is gonna via the lesser telepathy cantrip say to Aminata, you must teach me how to do that.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of my favorite tricks. It's very handy on getting extra ice cream at dinner time.
Right.
Oh, I meant communicating with trees. I'm not good at,
Oh, absolutely. There's so much we need to talk about, Sylvia.
So, you eventually, after another 45-50 minutes or so of walking through the forest, finally find yourselves at the edge of the tree line. Okay, and you see up ahead of you, about 30 or so meters away, across the ground, another opening in the wall of the cave that this forest was in, the cave chamber,
right,
leading you further onward. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this chamber or this tunnel goes on for about 60 or so meters. As you're walking along, you get about like halfway there, and you do finally about 30-40 meters in, you can see up ahead of you flickering kind of golden light, like firelight or something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Firelight.
I'm
It's the
going
earth.
to.
It's the earth something that I'm like.
So
Uh,
continuing on, you finally reach the end of this tunnel and come into a final chamber, which does appear to be, it's quite vast. Okay. It's a rectangular chamber. It's approximately 60 meters long, approximately 30 meters wide, and looks to be somewhere between 4 and 5 meters in height. The chamber is decorated along the walls with glittering stone, similar to granite with the quartz crystal, but not quite the same. There are braziers scattered around the chamber as well, with flames flickering from them, providing light, but also casting shadows as their flames move around. And you see there are nooks and alcoves throughout the chamber, carved into various columns that stretch up to that roof, the nearly 5-meter high roof, okay? And at the far end of the chamber is a miniature throne like dais, okay? And set there in front of the throne, you see atop a pillar, you see 3 chests, okay? Three wooden chests, very, very finely made. And that's 4 chests. Apologies, 4 chests, and that's basically it.
Right. So again, detect traps and hidden secrets.
Give me a roll.
Question also, the braziers.
Mm-hmm.
Are there many of them, or?
Yeah, like it's a massive chamber. So there's like
Okay, yeah, it's like loads of them.
I don't know, 15, 20 of them. I don't know, like, you know, they're scattered. Each brazier is about 2-3 meters from the next one, and each one creating a small radial like effect of like it's basically it's a somewhat dimly lit chamber, you know.
Okay, so that is
but we still have our lamp and
the
moonlight.
Yeah. So that is an 18.
You don't spot any traps, certainly from where you are standing at the entrance of the chamber. Doesn't appear to be anything around the immediate vicinity of you that is catching your eye.
Mademoiselle Sorceress, is there magic here?
I'm going to use detect magic.
Yeah, there's magic. Of course there's magic. There's bleeding magic. There's braziers that have got fire coming out of them and stuff.
There's magic coming out the wazoo.
Magic in the air.
You're in a Fey Mound. Yes, of course there's magic.
Excuse me, you have to double check. I have an academic background, right?
Yes.
Science.
Yes.
Well, I mean, any magic that's not obvious, like a secret magical trap or something. I don't know.
This is the problem, is that there is it's like there's a field of magic that just permeates the entire area. You know what I mean? I will say is that you do get a faint. Actually, wait. I'd need to check. Actually, I don't think you would, because I think it's outside of the range of your spell. 3 minutes. No, yeah. So you won't. Currently, you only have a 9-meter radius of this spell. So within that 9-meter radius, the magics that you're picking up are from the braziers. Okay.
All right. Well, I suppose that makes sense, given that they would need to be.
Can I try and do another like lap with Anklegon around the room and see if he spots something, and he sees something and he feels something weird?
Because doesn't he expands the range, doesn't he?
You can cast spells through Anklegon, yes.
I think I'll see if there is something he spots first, because he's a fey creature, so magic is like his home. So he knows his stuff.
I'm going to poke at one of the chests with my rifle.
Oh,
The chests are down the other end of the chamber, as I said.
Okay.
yeah.
So you've got to go a good 60 meters if you want to get to them.
Which I would not recommend.
Don't go alone. I do think we do need to move into a
And,
chamber, but
If you wanted to cast a spell to Anklegon, he can be up to 30 meters from you when you cast a spell, using his position as the center point for the range of the spell. So give me an awareness roll for Anklegon.
And
What was it, 10?
was that including your mods? Because he's like,
Including his mods, he has a +4. So that's
14.
14. Yeah, with a 14, he's not really spotting anything massively like jumping out at him.
So can I send him as far as I can within the reach of me still being able to cast some spells and try to do detect
30
magic
meters.
again?
Yeah, so you can send him halfway down the chamber and cast detect magic again. So just be keeping track of your mana, like all these detect magics and all the rest of that now. And even like, so he gets halfway, the chamber's 60 meters long, so he gets halfway down the chamber, and within that space, all you're picking up. How much mana are you spending on it? Just the base 2? Because the more mana you spend, the more powerful it is, and the more you will learn.
oh, okay. It doesn't increase rank.
I'll spend 4.
Okay. With that 4, so yeah, with a 4, you obviously getting the enchantment of the braziers, and it's kind of weird. It's hard to tell. You're just getting kind of a general magical energy in the surrounds of the chamber, but it's separate from the like general magical field that is the Fey Mound itself. It's like there's like these like sparks of arcane energy that just seem to be shifting and moving around.
It's a
I have arcane lore. Can I try and think about what it could be?
Give me an intellect roll.
Maybe you've read about,
Yeah.
something like magical braziers full of fire
So
creatures.
I rolled 16. I have intellect of 4, and I have +2 arcane roll.
So that's a 22.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really good roll. Fuck.
yeah.
She's pretty smart in the same way that Amanada is very dexterous. With that,
We're like Team Rocket.
with that 22, I'll say that it's
You learn everything.
It's weird. It's similar to some of the energies of the Sphere of Twilight, but there's an extra layer to it going on. It's not fixed. The way this magic is bouncing around, it's very strange. It's like Twilight, like shadowy type Twilight like energy moving around.
Okay. Can I tell it to the rest of the party
Yeah.
and see if someone can roll Fey lore? Because I don't have Fey lore. I have.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I've also got failure. I mean, can I?
Who's smarter, Amanada or Sylvia?
Oh, my intellect's only 1, so I assume
Same,
Amanada is
Amanada's
smarter.
1.
We're the same.
Yeah.
Oh,
My intellect is 2, and I have failure, so I can.
Okay,
help.
good.
That is 15.
can we help and give a bonus?
Not really for this.
So that's I'm adding my Fey lore plus my intellect, right?
Yeah.
That's 19.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That's a good roll.
With that, you are wondering, is there maybe something hidden in the chamber?
Like a hidden secret?
That Aminata could roll for, perhaps.
I'd probably need to get closer, though. That's the thing.
Can I tell with that roll a general direction?
No, because from Justine's detect magic roll, it wasn't in a specific direction. It was
shifting.
Amazing. Okay. All right.
Okay. Aminata is going to turn to Gwen and Sylvia and say, I think it may be best if I proceed, but I also think I may need some sort of help, magical help. Justine, anyone?
Oh, I can bless you. So what I can to make you more dexterous, basically what I'm trying to say without saying I can give you a +3 is I can give you a +3.
I will take it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you can bless her.
Yeah.
Just one small thing. I have arcane awareness cantrip that says
that's nothing
that
compared
I can.
To, but compare like just the range on that compared to the room that you're in, you know.
But it says I will know the general direction of the source. So maybe if I like concentrate on specifically on that things that I noticed.
But the thing was that you cast that detect magic through Anklegon when he was 30 meters in, and the range on that is 7 meters versus the 9 meters for your detect magic.
So here's the other thing I can do. I can cast Barkskin on you, Aminata. The only thing is, be aware that because there are braziers, this may be you may get hit with fire. Fire will do double damage to you.
Ooh, maybe not with the Barkskin.
It does still give you some resistance. It just means that the resistance will run out faster if you are attacked with fire. You understand what I mean? So it will give you some resistance. Just it won't be as good if you get hit.
Fire.
I can cast.
Oh, is that your stain?
Yeah.
I can cast lesser arcane defense.
That might be the better bet.
Yeah. So I'll give you the lesser bless. I just think because you'll take that double damage with Barkskin, it's not really worth it.
Except that you can only cast that on yourself.
Damn it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can give you the defense I'll give you the Barkskin anyway if you want.
Do you want to cast Barkskin and bless?
Yeah, I'm going to do that because it's going to give you some resistance.
Okay.
Gives the extra hit points if not enough.
Yeah. Mamselle, Aminata, I can't give you any of that, but would you give her a kiss for luck?
Kiss has granted me quite great luck in the past. Aminata is going to glide in, eeringly smooth, and pop Sophie's face.
Oh.
No, Sophie swoons. She's just like. Sophie. Yeah, no. Sophie's gone.
Okay.
Sophie's gone. And the wonderful thing, if we don't all die, you can go for dinner or something, yeah?
That would be lovely. Aminata at that is going to step back, swing around, and as they turn around, their hair is kind of going to give off a slight cinnamony, slightly fresh scent as they kind of take a nice deep breath in to center themselves and start stepping forward bit by bit.
So you have the minor Neve?
Neve?
Yeah.
There was
echo.
Weird audio coming from you.
Okay.
So, Aminata, with the bark skin cast on you, your skin taking on this mottled wood-like texture, and the minor bless as well. You... Oh, crap.
I gonna
Eavesdropped.
Yeah.
bump.
I'll message her to update what we're doing.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just gonna elbow Sylvia a little bit, and I'm like, do these two like each other?
So, right. So, Aminata, you start moving into the chamber. How, like, are you just heading towards the dais with the chests on it, or what you doing?
Sylvia's looking at you exactly like.
Amanada is not going to go in any detectable pattern themselves.
Okay.
So they're almost going to practically start dancing around this chamber. So
Cool.
gliding over here, pirouetting that way. Yeah, little shimmy, jazz hands.
Okay. So
Focus.
as you start moving in this erratic fashion along the chamber, okay, the rest of the party there at the entrance, waiting, watching. Sophie, rifle, trains, trying to focus on any threats that might emerge, with that focus being distracted by Aminata's swaying hips.
100%. Yeah.
You get once you get 10 meters in,
Resolve roll.
I want to use my detect.
Well, once you get 10 meters in, you all notice the brazier start flickering more and making the shadows in the chamber longer, moving around more and more. And as they do, some of the shadows break off from the walls as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wraith-like beings appearing to be made of pure shadow emerge, all heading towards Aminata. And I think that is a perfect place to pause in our story.
You're fucking shitting me. No way.
Oh my
I have some words, but none of them are nice words.
It's 10 past 10, folks. It's very late. Okay.
What?
It's
Already?
Yes, I know. It's a school night
It's
for
2
some of
p.m.,
us.
okay? So we're switching to Vancouver time and keep it going.
We're not all in North American continent, okay? So,
Oh my god.
thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, Sophie. We will finish this adventure same bat time, same bat channel next week. So yes, I said thank you all for joining us. Reminders that you can find us on the Bird app while it is still there. If you have an invite code, we are also on Blue Sky, also at Fey Earth. You can find all of our content on fey-earth.itch.io. Free to download stuff. We have an early release core rulebook, a starter adventure, and one shots we just want to try out for an evening. And there is our Patreon, of course, if you want to help support us. Sophie, tell people where they can find your amazing stuff.
I'm Kaylee, the Gnome Barbarian. You can find me on the Bird app at Bruce Kaylee, just like my name is spelled on the overlay, I assume. Mm-hmm. And you can find my games that I've written on itch under Gnome Barbarian. That's Bard and Barian.
Yeah, and there are some wonderful games, including the delightful Kaiju game, Monster Ascent, which I actually did a solo play on Twitch a few months back. It was so much fun. 100% would recommend it. So yet again, thank you for joining us all, and we shall see you all next week. So bye, everybody.
Oh my God. How do you finish it on that?